Today we're talking about mind mapping. Mind mapping is a wonderful tool. I came across it several years ago when I was writing my first book, and it actually helped me to organize it, put it into some kind of a structure that it made sense to me. Because one of the problems I had is very often I would write, and I would write lots of different material, and I could never seem to get it orderly and connected to where I could actually put it up into chapters and then lay it out. But today we're going to talk about mind maps as far as kind of the structure and the function of it. When we start talking about mind maps, this is where you start off with this central idea. You'd want to think about what are the 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 secondary ideas that you'd be working around this particular premise. So let's talk about a couple different ones here. Let's talk about the structure. Then from the structure, we're going to talk a little bit about kind of the forms that we can represent things in. Besides this, we're also going to look at some of the benefits. Now, as we're doing it, you can see here that we've got the central idea and 3, again, secondary ideas to support this one. As we're working with this, we might also want to bring in some colors to help us to differentiate the different parts. We might say to ourselves that as we step back from it, these are some ways to make it just, again, visually look different, to set one off from the other. You might use different forms as you're doing it to help us to really decide how we're going to organize this. But let's take a look at the structure. In each of these, what we would do is we have, again, the central idea and the secondary kind of headings, if you will. Then we want to start bringing off our details to think this thing through. So realistically, as we start thinking about our structure, you've got a primary idea, you've got secondary, and we got these tertiary ideas. And as we think about it, as we look at the primary, secondary, and tertiary, from here we may have some other thoughts that would spring off of those.